Sonic Underground episode 36. Sleepers. So, sleeper agents? We already did that with Manic. We see a wind farm with spotlights around it. Wait, that's oddly green energy of him. Robotnik will do anything for energy in this show. Isn't it kinda out of character for Robotnik to not be all about pollution and industrialism? Some freedom fighters in military gear fail to cut the wires of a windmill and get caught. Sonic was relying on them, and Sonya says they have to get past the security system too, holding a device in her hand. Manic says they're nowhere in sight. That's what happens when they rely on people other than Sonic. The heroes get spotted by a spotlight and avoid a laser. Sonya creates a whirlwind to destroy the airship above her, and it's implied that she flew up to it. And she complains that she should never super spin the desert, thanks to the dust. They leave, and somehow Sonic can't figure out why their allies left them hanging. Cyrus actually has to tell them that they were captured. Sonic fortunately feels bad for being mad, and one of the inside sources says that they're being roboticized today. Sonic leaves, and they're told 2 more freedom fighters disappeared this morning, but they don't know how. We see Sonic destroy robots, and Robotnik is told what happened thanks to an alarm. He says to open all entrances as he wants him to see his friends, but only for a price. So see, he can only get to Robotnik's face because he wants to lure him to a trap. Sonic knows it's a trap, but he goes in there anyways because he's arrogant and likes excitement. He sees a machine, and Robotnik talks to him over the intercom, and apparently his friends were already roboticized, apparently. Did Cyrus get the wrong information then? I was expecting it to be later. Sonic is led in through a trap door, but because Robotnik doesn't want to win, he tries to vaporize Sonic with lasers instead of immediately roboticizing him. But he doesn't restrain Sonic at all, so he's still able to avoid the lasers. Robotnik at least justifies that sooner or later he'll get tired. He spins around in the air and makes the laser hit the wall so he can break through a hole. That was so anticlimactic. He one-upped him and then he escaped so easily. Why would Robotnik make the walls out of a metal vulnerable to those lasers? Sonya plans to create diversions pointing to a map. Sonic says he'll lead them into the street and his siblings will pick them up. I think they're helping with Cyrus's Freedom Fighter co-op supply ships. Some robots on floating cars shoot lasers at Sonic, and Sonya rides a bike down some stairs as cool music plays. Good thing she can ride downstairs instead of her bike toppling down them. Some SWAT bots fly after Manic's hoverboard shooting lasers, and I guess the only reason he's so low to the floor is to create a diversion. Sonic dodges a laser from a robot and runs away. Is anything important gonna happen? Sonya tries to brake her bike when it's driving towards something, but ends up exploding while throwing her off it. When she's surrounded by robots that want to arrest her, I soon start to wonder why she doesn't just pull out her keyboard and escape that way. Instead, she lets them arrest her because the plot needs some worthless padding because it ran out of ideas. Why do any of the heroes get kidnapped when they can use magical medallions whenever they want? Her brothers plan to rescue her, and Robotnik says they're ready to roboticize her already, which is smart of him since it takes a while to power up. Manic puts a small explosive on the airship they hoverboarded up to, and this lets Sonic get flung up to the top. Sonic immediately rescues Sonya with no resistance from the robots or anything, and she's not even in restraints. And the airship slows down and heads for the villains and crashes into the wall. It would feel a lot more satisfying if we saw what Sonic had been doing in the airship. Robotnik breaks about 28 roboticized freedom fighters, and we have no attachment to them because we didn't know the personalities or what they did that was useful. And he asks how many more sleepers he has. He's given the last one until they get more fuel. The sleeper uses something very rare that's shipped from the Badlands, and it's the only fuel that compresses without exploding, so Robotnik needs to put up with it and nothing else. But why doesn't he know better than to ask to use something else? Why isn't he the one making all the inventions and knowing how they work? Isn't it out of character for Robotnik to not be the one engineering stuff? Then it's blander. It's more deeper for a character to have 2 functions. He's a dictator and an inventor. Instead he just sits in his chair all day. Sonic says that this is the best assignment he's ever had because he's gotten sent to 5 chili dog stands already. Finally, Manic wonders if it's a trap, which is weird because they've been to 5 stands in one day with nothing happening, but because of clumsy foreshadowing, only now does Manic say it's a trap. He gets put to sleep from sleeping gas while Sonic left him alone to go get a chili dog, and he's put in a pod and kidnapped. Sonic presses the button on his wristband to call for help as he's trying to stop the movement of the pod, which was nice enough to stay just hovering above the ground so Sonic could... Oh, I guess it was just to lure Sonic into being hit by the sleeping gas. Because that's staying close to the ground too. Sonia's van shows up, and just now is Sonic able to tell her what happened to Manic when you'd think the wristband would let him talk to her. But I guess if he's restricted to pressing a button for help, it saves him time talking. Sonia uses the laser shooter to shoot Manic's pod and save him, while Sonic gets flown around holding the sleeper device. The sleeper puts him to sleep, and the heroes bring him and Manic home. Cyrus tells the heroes the sleeper uses Vitarium for fuel and they can cruise for days, but since they're found in only one mine, if they destroy the mine, Robotnik won't be able to make more of them. So that's why all those freedom fighters were captured so easily. They're put to sleep. Cyrus uses a hacking device to open a door. I see Cyrus's father again. Seriously, why does he talk like a robot with a robot voice when he clearly shouldn't have that kind of voice? When he clearly has vocal cords. Like, he looks too organic to sound like that. When the heroes temporarily return his free will, he hugs him and goes back to talking with a normal voice. Huh? He has 2 voice boxes? He agrees to get to work for the few minutes that he'll be with them. He gives them a security override gem that'll give them the same access as Robotnik. And for no reason, a bad song blindsides us as the heroes wreak havoc. Sonic's given the override and told that it's only good until Robotnik changes the code. Cyrus hugs his dad again, and fortunately he doesn't change back to normal when he's hugging him and kidnap him to be roboticized. Some robots threaten the heroes, but because Sonic holds up a magic stone, the robots let him through and he holds the stone up to a door to make it open up. And they're able to take control of the airship, with Sonia joking that they're on Robotnik Airlines. This is really easy for the heroes, but it makes some sense. Badly programmed robots. Still, the robot should be hard programmed to fight Priority 1, regardless of what he's holding in his hand. Do they assume that Sonic's joined Eggman just because he's holding a rock? After he taunts the bounty hunters after doing his thing, Manic jumps to create an exploding fissure, which ends up destroying the mine, and unfortunately Robotnik's able to fly his plane out of danger. So unfortunately this episode wasn't about Robotnik making sleeper agents. Instead, he just had sleeping gas. Which did lead people to be roboticized, but I was expecting something that would brainwash them into doing what he said while they still acted normally otherwise. Not something that would make them talk in monotone and make it blatantly obvious. It's still a threatening plan because it was so successful, but it could have been a lot better. This is what I would expect. This is common sense. Of course you could use sleeping gas against the heroes. And the episode ends with the heroes destroying the mine that makes the only thing that can power the sleepers for the amount of time they need. It also had a touching moment in it because Cyrus met his father and got to hug him. And I'm glad it didn't spend an eternity wasting my time with Cyrus telling his father to snap out of it when he's brainwashed. Instead, the heroes temporarily restore his free will with their instruments. If they could do that permanently, Robotnik would be finished, so I understand they have to balance it. But why can't they power up their instruments with the Master Emerald and get that power that way? I'm glad we saw Cyrus again. It's not like he's an amazing character at all. He's honestly just as bland and personality-less as Rotor is. Only he doesn't feel totally lame because, despite looking like a big walrus, Rotor still isn't the big fighter guy. The only reason I like Cyrus is because he's an engineer. And he should be stated as the one who makes all the heroes' technology, but he isn't. But yeah, I don't see why Robotnik would need to have flying sleeper capsules that can fly as long as they want just to be able to put people to sleep. Shouldn't he have sleeper gas tubes connected to everything that he wants to be guarded? And if the wrong person touches them, then the sleeper gas would shoot out at them through the tube? Why does he need to have the sleeping gas in a flying capsule?